What's up, guys? Our Wrestling Podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious, along with Just the Total Package, Craig the British Bulldog, and the Nature Boy Joe, bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Today's topic: legacy of Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio. Or watch our videos on YouTube at our wrestling channel. And if you could look to your left for several other video options, or you can give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019. Facebook is out there if you're, dead and laying and right. Whatever you want to do there.
Use your fucking eyes and look to the fucking frame that we put around. Like, thank you, Dave. Jesus Christ. Stop taking advantage of Dave. You guys have done it for too fucking long. Like, to just read the shit around. And Craig, I don't know why you made me laugh right now. You were writing something diligently, and then you were shaking a pen of some kind, but then you realized that Dave was recording, and you straightened up real quick.
And I froze.
And I just enjoyed it. Every second of all of it. And fuck the idiots that can't read on the side of the thing. I'm talking about two different things at once. Dave, go on. Just take us through the legacy of Virgil, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Virgil, yeah. That's actually not a bad spot.
Please stop stalling and do
Definitely
your job.
Should definitely get to that, but we're going to talk about Shawn Michaels. Did you know he actually competed in 17 WrestleMania matches?
Yeah, so this is the legacy of Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. So I found a way to take my laziness, and this is my laziness. It's a stylus.
Oh.
And this is episodes,
props.
and I combined them. So I just want to show visuals to the stupid fans out there who can't read the side scrolls. And I combined them together. So instead of being, I was lazy because I was like, I don't want to do a legacy of Shawn Michaels. That's silly.
That's a nice cock ring, by the way.
Yeah, this is my. It's too big as well, which is really a shame.
Whoa,
that's cool.
I have some space when I use it.
Hot dog down a hallway.
wow.
I gave Dave some facts. This is kind of a new format, so Dave's gonna have some facts, and we'll
just see where it goes. Like I said, he competed in 17 matches.
He did.
Most of his opponents were fresh at the event. The Undertaker is the only wrestler he'd faced twice. He lost both those matches.
Thank God.
HBK has headlined WrestleMania 5 times, but he only won once. And that was his first main event against Bret Hart in 1996.
Thank you.
He would be defeated by Mr. Austin, Mr. Benoit, the Cena Man, and Undertaker twice in the main event of WrestleMania.
Thank God.
So
go ahead.
Yeah. First WrestleMania. It was WrestleMania 5 of 89. The Rockers versus the Twin Towers. The Twin Towers, I believe, were kind of on their upper echelon to start taking on the Mega Powers.
No, it was, they had already done that. They were going to face. They pretty much set him up to face Demolition that whole summer.
Got it. Okay, that's what it was. And it was his first appearance at the big show, and his first defeat. Then we had WrestleMania 6 in 1990.
I don't get this one, by the way, at all.
Why would you lose to the Orient Express? Because I don't think that Vince believed in the Rockers. Like, honestly, I don't know how to say it.
We did a WrestleMania 6 review, and we were all. So it's funny that you're stopping right here and you want to talk about this. So we did a WrestleMania 6 review. All of us, Joe, it was one of your first ones you ever did with us, and we were all like. Dave gave it an F because it's like, it's a count out, it's bullshit. And I'm like, hang on. Marty Jannetty getting salt in the eyes and falling over the front row into the front row was awesome. And then Joe's like, I was so shocked that happened. And we were all like, legitimately like, this nothing match where it wasn't for any tag titles or anything like that. It was just a throwaway match at WrestleMania that I was like, that was pretty fucking cool. Like, so for some reason I remember Jannetty getting salt in the eyes and going, the goofy scream, like over the top of the rail, like into the crowd. Like, it was awesome.
He's good at going over rails through windows. He's
a team player. But it was their second WrestleMania, and today's point, their second loss. Shawn Michaels' second loss. Fuck Shawn Michaels.
Count out. Yep. Then we move on to the 7th WrestleMania 91. They finally do have a win. The Rockers beat Haku and the Barbarian.
Hee-haw.
And hee-haw. And this was a curtain jerker, an opening match, which is pretty entertaining, right? So it's good stuff. And then we finally get singles competition for Mr. Michaels. He defeats Tito Santana in his first singles match. And this was a couple of months after he turned on Marty Jannetty and that famous barbershop window that Craig was just alluding to.
WrestleMania 8, right? Yeah, 90. Yeah.
WrestleMania 8 in '92. Yep. And
Did
then,
he defeat Tito Santana or did he defeat El Matador?
That's Joe. He defeated El Matador, Joe. Good job.
I just want to, just for.
Hey, we need this for
This
frustration.
is,
I was angry.
This is serious business. We got to be factually accurate.
I was blackout drunk when I wrote this topic. I'm not going to be.
That was also the curtain jerker.
yes.
Get off your ass,
Craig.
Tito.
Craig is stealing my thunder. I just love all of you for this, and thank you because Dave's going to get on here. The next WrestleMania at 9 was also the curtain jerker. 3 years in a row, Mr. Michaels jerked the curtain and something else at WrestleMania.
Tatanka.
Yeah.
And one of the worst WrestleManias ever, which was in Vegas, but not the kind of Vegas we're going to see this year. It was outside Caesars in a horrible setup. And Shawn
I think the
Michaels
Little
defeats
Caesars
Tatanka.
parking lot is a great place for a WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, right. That's really what it was.
It was Little Caesars. It was Little Caesars. Caesars Palace Parking Lot.
They might as well.
They all had
Might as well had it at Little Caesars.
They all had
Is it the
just
parking
eating
lot?
pizza
Yeah.
and wings.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. Shawn Michaels lost to Tatanka, which is interesting because he's the IC champion, and Tatanka's riding an undefeated streak still. At
Yes,
this point?
correct.
So
Lost
it's just
by-
like why
by
put
count
them
out.
together?
I
At
wanted you
Mania.
right now to just say so. It's an F.
It's enough, yeah.
Come on, we need a decision here. What's going on?
I think I know what's going on and I don't like it.
I don't like the look on Tatanka's face either. I don't really care about the look on his face, but he looks upset. I'm gonna look.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this bout, as a result of a countdown, Tatanka!
Don't get excited about the belt switching right now, because I'll tell you what.
Well, Tatanka is still undefeated.
Yeah. Anything
So yeah,
else
really
in
quick
Mania
too.
that
To
results in a count out.
Craig said it too. Yeah, for 3 years in a row, Mr. Shawn Michaels was the opening match of WrestleMania.
Showstopper.
Which
No,
kind of
the
makes
show starter.
sense. The show starter.
Yeah, that's funny.
And finally, I think this is where we finally get into some gold. We got WrestleMania 10, 1994. What a lot of us deem at least a top 5 match, a match that changes not only WrestleMania history, but wrestling in itself with ladder matches. Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon. He loses an IC championship match.
Fantastic
And a ladder match. And this is where he became to be known as Mr. WrestleMania.
First one of his classics, really. Like this was the beginning of like the epic.
Right.
Match.
In all fairness, like after this, I don't like. You could say you didn't like certain matchups or whatever after this, but after this, I don't know if he had a bad showing at WrestleMania. I don't think so. Like Dave, you're gonna read on. Really don't like. I think after this match, it was just like, oh, okay, Shawn Michaels like every fucking year. So I guess it answered my question. He is Mr. WrestleMania because like after this, like I don't think there was a miss really. There was better matches than others, but like there's
Sure. And this is the first televised ladder match in WWF history, which is really fascinating. I think Razor talks about it later on. They're like, why didn't you do more matches like this? Or what was the difficulty? Like that ladder, the ladder they had us use was like the same ladder and it was heavy as hell. And they have now gone to having 20 plus multiple ladders that are super lightweight, easy to carry around. Multiple heights.
The ladder at WrestleMania was the fiberglass ones, like with the big orange sides, whatever.
Yeah.
Like later they just
the ones
got
that would be in your parents' garage and they lasted forever.
And
couldn't break them.
later WrestleManias, they would get the aluminum ones and probably pre-cut them a little bit so they'd break easier or whatever. Like, but no, not here. Like this was like legit Home Depot. Today's point, your dad would buy this ladder to be like, I got to get on the fucking roof.
And honestly, thank God they had a second ladder at this one. Didn't they break the first one? And even the second one looked like it was going to or the ref had to hold the ladder for Shawn to go up it.
That might have
they
been,
wouldn't replace it.
Or was it the SummerSlam?
That might have been their SummerSlam one, Craig, because I remember for some reason Bruce saying like the first ladder, like we didn't have a spare. So like they had to make this work. Yeah. So I think to your point, Craig, that was the rematch at SummerSlam 95. But I mean, again, SummerSlam 95, their solution was just have a spare. Like just sitting around. In
Second
case.
ladder?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael! Get out of there, Shawn! He's out! He's
Moving on, it's the 11th WrestleMania.
And by the way, Savage and Steamboat was like considered the greatest WrestleMania match up until that point, and then they stole the show. And Shawn and Razor was for years like considered like the greatest WrestleMania match until like some of the TLC matches or whatever, obviously. But even then, like when I go back, if you go back and watch Shawn and Razor, it is rewatchable. It's not it doesn't like lose its luster because like you feel the beginning stages of it. Like you can go back and watch Shawn and Razor right now, and they're just the fact that they have a very different ladder, to Dave's point, is like you feel it. Like I went back, I did watch it a couple weeks ago just because it's WrestleMania season. I was just had it on, and I was like, this match is rewatchable, not for the stunts, not for the way they did stuff with the ladder, but like they
told the story.
But just the ladder looked like that was your ladder. Like that was it was brutal, and it was not giving at all. It didn't flex.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything like that. Like, and you were just like, whoa. And the fact that these two guys on the biggest stage of the year at WrestleMania, they had to hit a home run with this. They had to, and they did. And like, it was considered one of the greatest WrestleMania matches for a long time. So I hate Shawn Michaels. God damn it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think a lot of people would still put it in their top 5 for sure.
And it should be. It should be.
100%. Top 5 WrestleMania. It's over 30 years old now, by the way.
That's crazy.
I hate him. Dave, move on. Jesus.
Don't say it like that, Dave.
I hate him.
I know.
Let's go to the next year where the wrestling was shitty.
Yeah, 95 was a bad year. We all went off to college or were already in college and nobody cared. Shawn would lose to Big Daddy Cool Diesel. But many critics thought Shawn carried the match and took Diesel to his best match at that point to win the WWF Championship. Because they were buddies.
No, he lost. He lost.
Yeah, I'm sorry, to have Diesel win the championship.
Yeah.
I'm saying he helped Diesel win his. That wasn't his first, though. That was his second, right?
No. Diesel defended the title.
Oh, I'm sorry. He already beat Backlund at this point.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. He hadn't lost it yet. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So he was holding the title, and Shawn tried to take it from him and lost it. That's right.
But anyway, Dave, please, I hate to say this, and I'm so sorry. I'm apologizing right now. Please continue on with Shawn Michaels, please. I hate
WrestleMania 12, 1996. Craig fell asleep. Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart in an Iron Man match, where he actually won. He came up short the year before. Shawn would realize his stupid boyhood dream and defeat Bret Hart to win his first WWF Heavyweight Championship.
Dave did not edit that in there. I wrote that like as I was writing the notes to my stupid fucking boyhood dream. So it
was a polarizing match. They would call it the greatest match in Mania history. We never agreed with that when we watched it.
I want to say this to save time or whatever. And you said a lot of great things. Craig did fall asleep with a pillow and a blanket. And the thing is this. If you say, and I'm going to go on record, if you say that Shawn Michaels versus Bret at WrestleMania, the Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12 was good, you legitimately never watched that match. It was boring, and I don't care what anybody says. It's not polarizing to me. It's boring as shit. Like, it's
and the other part about it that I don't get, and I swear, maybe I'm making it more.
If you say, "Oh my God, what a classic" or whatever, I'm like, no, you didn't watch it. There's no way you watch that match and you're like, wow.
And it was
fucking
an Iron
boring.
Man match is like whoever has the most pinfalls wins, right? They had none.
They had none.
No pinfalls.
And then they went to sudden death. So the match was so important that afterwards they're like, we're going to do a sudden death thing. I'm like, then why even fucking do this? Like, why wouldn't you have Shawn Michaels get a pinfall in the last 60 seconds and then Bret just can't get another pinfall and then Michaels wins? Why do a fucking...
That would have made more sense to me.
Even Bret Hart, like when they announced it to the Bret Hart turns around and goes, why? I was like,
why?
Yeah, I know.
He should have been champion. We all were like, yeah, why? It's a draw. You retain your belt.
Yeah,
leave.
it's a draw.
Go, get in your rental car and fucking get out of here right now. And Girl Monsoon's like, there's no way.
It's not over. This capacity crowd buzzing. They've never seen anything quite like this. Wait a minute. Michaels said he got it. He got all of it. Michaels got all of it. Michaels in a cover. 1, 2,
And just you wrote too, your audience was not ready for this type of match because we've had Iron Man matches later, and
they
had to go back up
and
the zip line.
The American wrestling
This-
audience was not ready for it.
This match skewed my view of Iron Man matches forever.
Yeah,
And I never.
Yeah, and then we finally saw. Now
anytime
we
it was
see,
like, oh, there's an Iron Man match, I'm like, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
Skip it. Fuck it.
What did we see?
Yeah.
Owen and Brett and Iron Man in our drama
we
teacher
saw at
fell
house
asleep?
shows. Yeah, we did, and it was just as boring.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not
At a house show in an
1984.
hour? Oh, Jesus.
60-minute matches. And even when they're
Right.
like, I don't know if I could sit through a Steamboat Flair 60-minute at this point. Like, I think they
No.
were good at the time, but like, it's too long.
It's too long.
that's a long match.
Like,
But
you
here
can
you
only
go.
do so many spots. You run out of shit to do, and you just start repeating.
Yeah, or you just start chin locking for fucking 20 minutes. Like there's no
the
there's
whole like 35 to 50 minutes is
Don't-
headlock for
don't
hunger. We used to
still
call it
cut Owen's
headlock for
signature
hunger
move of chin
when
lock.
matches are boring.
Don't do that.
yeah.
Joe came up with that, I think.
Yeah, but then we kind of roll into a decent little barn burner here, and on 1998 we got Shawn Michaels losing to Steve Austin for his first WWF Championship, if I'm not mistaken. A very
Great match.
controversial Survivor Series. Shawn would regain the WWF title and pass it along to Steve Austin. That was the
And one quick note there, Dave, that match isn't super great. It's okay, but his back was
Yeah.
trashed, and he admittedly that's not
And
one
so
of
was
his
Austin.
favorite
Austin's
matches,
neck
and-
was bad, and we reviewed that as well too, Craig. I think it was you, me, and Cuz actually. Maybe another person was joined, but I remember live watching that, being disappointed a little bit, and I didn't like the Tyson ending. I really didn't like that at all.
it was weird. That
But
part
it was to
weird.
crown Austin, and they achieved their goal because they won the Monday Night Wars. After that, they started like accelerating in ratings or whatever. But and Austin was on his way to being like a megastar.
And Michael's apparently a
think
huge
they-
dick that day. Like,
I think they. Well, I think it was one thing.
We when we reviewed it, I remember specifically saying like when I watched it live, I was disappointed, but reviewing it and watching it for the thing, I gave it a strong B plus. And I'm not saying that's great for a main event, but like I when I watched it to review it with you guys, I was like, man, like you could tell that it's weird. They telegraphed that they both knew how hurt they were, but like they still didn't fucking hold back with punches. They did shit on the outside of the ring.
Into it.
Yeah, and it was really good. And for what it wasn't their best match or whatever. Their King of the Ring '97 match was their best match on television, in my opinion. But yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought. But to Craig's point, like it wasn't this WrestleMania main event to crown Austin that we thought it was going to be.
Back up somehow. Austin ducked it. Austin going for the stunner, and Michaels counter. Michaels going for another kick. Austin, he got it. The stunner. Mike Tyson in. Austin is the champion. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Wait a minute. What? Tyson has double crossed the X. It's a double cross.
At all.
How many losses has Michaels racked up at this point? He's got one win in what, like 8 years?
he's 3-6 after Austin defeats him at this point.
3 and 6.
Yeah.
3-6. It kind of proves something. We can talk about it then, but you don't have to win WrestleMania to have great WrestleMania matches and be remembered as Mr. WrestleMania. But I mean,
And
Well,
I think
self-declared Mr. WrestleMania.
Yeah.
fair enough. Fair enough.
and
Vince
then
did
he-
not correct him though. I will.
And
say
then
that.
he misses the whole Austin era because he pisses off and leaves for
Yeah, Dave's
3
got it
years.
here.
Doesn't come back for
Yeah,
4
it's
years.
4.5 years until he comes back in 2003. So, and the only way I'm coming back is if I beat Chris Jericho.
No, that's not. No. He came back in 4.5 years and he beat Triple H at SummerSlam, which I love. It's enjoy. Craig likes that too. And then it was he missed 5 years of WrestleManias. He didn't come back until 2003 after 1998, which is 5 years.
14
Like,
to 19, yeah.
yeah.
So it was five WrestleManias, but he didn't come back for 4.5 because he came back early. He
Came back in 2002 and beat Triple H.
It was
Got
a
it.
street fight? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Street Fight. Yeah, it was really good. Whatever.
And a lot of people didn't think he was able to do the performance that he used to do, but some would say he might have got better. Him and Jericho put on. I don't think it was a Meltzer 5-star match, but we'd probably say it's a 5-star match. It's Chris Jericho. Go on, what are we talking about?
The big thing about Michaels here is like he came back, and he was only back for like 6 months at this point or whatever, and like or 7, something like that. And he comes back at WrestleMania, and it's not a world title match or anything like that. And they put on a gem, and like it was really good. And it wasn't. I don't know if people would ever go back and say it was the best match on the show. And I don't know. Oh man, I think looking back, it was. Because you had Hogan and McMahon, you had Lesnar and Angle, and you had a lot of other higher profile matches.
Gosh.
You have me wanting to punch a donkey when Triple H beat Booker T, and like all that other stuff happened that time. And you had Rey Mysterio against Matt Hardy. You had like a bunch of different like really good matches like on that card.
Yeah.
But Michaels and Jericho, when I went back and watched it, and I think we reviewed that one too. Was like, wow, like this, they took their time. They were not in a rush. Like, and those are always the best matches. Those are always the matches that steal the show. They didn't think they had to. It's a big.
And the storyline
reason.
was the wife when he hit the.
No, that was
Sean's
later.
Wife?
That
or
was
that way later?
That was
Got
way
it.
later.
that.
And that was Jericho with short hair. But this one here was Jericho wanting to take over the moniker of I'm Mr. WrestleMania. A lot of people compared me to you when Jericho was younger and he had the long blonde hair, like Shawn did at the Rockers. They compared Jericho to Shawn Michaels. Like, so it was Jericho being jealous and pissed and like, I'm better than you now. I don't have to wait, like, you know, kind of thing. And Michaels would win here to add to his win-loss record. But the match was excellent. And at the end, Jericho kicked him in the balls. So I enjoyed that.
I feel like Jess is either messing with me or it's a major typo for WrestleMania 20 in 2004 because I don't know who Chris Smith is.
That Dave, listen to me. The main event,
Shawn Michaels versus Triple H versus Chris Smith.
Yes. So I don't know what you don't understand about that. So we had Triple H, we had Shawn Michaels, and we had Chris Smith in there, and I don't know why you're questioning that. And Chris Smith would win the World Heavyweight Championship, and we all know who Chris Smith is. And he is a great wrestler. So that's it.
Okay.
If you could please move on. If you could just move on from this.
Cool story, bro.
Chris
Could
Canada.
Shawn Michaels win a World Heavyweight Championship for the second time at WrestleMania? No. And Jess wrote,
He didn't, you fucking loser.
Record is
but it was a
4-7
fantastic
at this
match.
point.
He lost to Chris Smith, bitch.
but Shawn would put on a barn burner as he always seems to do in these moments. Hey, this is one of my favorites. WrestleMania 21, 2005. Shawn Michaels loses to Mr. Kurt Angle. This was a bit of a dream match for a lot of people. Both guys did not disappoint. One of the greatest Mania matches of all time.
And also, too, ironically, I'm going to say this, and this hurts me to say this, but this wasn't Shawn Michaels' best WrestleMania match, but this was Kurt Angle's. Like,
Right.
it just was. Like, this match is amazing. I love this match. It's one of my favorite WrestleMania matches to go back and watch. And you know, all the hoopla of Dave Meltzer Dave Meltzer did not give this match a 5-star. He gave it 4 3/4 star, which is fucking ridiculous. This is a 5-star match, but it wasn't Shawn's best WrestleMania match, but it was absolutely Kurt Angle's. And I don't mean that to be a shitty to Kurt Angle. You know, he's had matches at WrestleMania with Benoit, Kane, Eddie Guerrero, Brock Lesnar, but they weren't as good as this. Like, they just weren't. And this was Kurt Angle's best WrestleMania match.
Refusing to die here. He will not. He will not. He is Mr. WrestleMania. Michaels doing all he can to counter. But how do you counter? No, the fans. No. Shawn, I thought he was going to tap, but he didn't. And he's one more. The will to win. Michaels trying everything he's got, everything he has. How long has this ankle lock been locked in? How much can he stand? No, Michaels taps out. Oh my God, Michaels taps out to the ankle lock. It may have broken. The ankle may be broken.
Here is your winner, Kurt Angle.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
Hey, WrestleMania 22, 2006. Shawn Michaels puts on a match that's better than people would think it would be versus VKM in a street fight.
Full
That was
disclosure,
one of the highlights of the night.
I have no memory of this. I need to
a
go
lot
I'm
of
gonna
people
watch this
don't remember
weekend.
WrestleMania 22, which, by the way, to give you an early
remember
heads
this.
up, next week you guys are going to have to watch WrestleMania 22 as a review.
Well, that's good. So I'll wait. That's good. So
Yes.
Good.
I can-
It's a forgotten WrestleMania, to be fair.
I remember Hart, McMahon. I remember McMahon and others. Hogan. Yeah, I just don't remember Michael.
McMahon versus McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's where Shawn finally starts to say that, okay, I will not win titles anymore. I will put people over. And this was the time of John Cena. Was his time. His time was now. And he defeats Shawn Michaels in a WWE Championship match. To Justice's point, this is where wins and losses don't matter to Shawn anymore. He's kind of sunsetting, and it's time to put the guy over. And
Do you know who else didn't care about wins and
solidifies
losses, Dave?
John Cena.
Dave, do you know who else didn't care about wins and losses?
Who's that?
Jesus.
I was like, expecting that. In my
I
mind right now,
didn't know if you were going to go there or Triple H.
Yeah, I was running through my Rolodex of like what wrestlers he's going to say right now, and then he said the best wrestler of them all. Jesus.
I thought he was going to say Chris Masters or something. I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, but that's the kind of stuff that when you think about it, it's very unselfish for someone who is extremely
Shut
selfish
up.
for the majority of his career. Finally
up.
putting somebody over.
Shut your mouth.
And again, John ran it for a year, man. Or sorry, for a decade. He ran it for a decade. And this is a part of the reason why when you're able to beat someone like Shawn Michaels and carry that kind of legacy on. So, good stuff. How about Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair in 08? I'm sorry. I love you. And then super kiss
you
him to
and
death.
me. And then Flair retired. He retired forever and never wrestled again after this.
Nope.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, never did it. It was a very good match. He would retire the legend who would go on to wrestle at least a dozen more matches after this. To Justin's point. But still,
Dozen more years.
The story was well told.
It was. Yeah, it was.
So,
And
Shawn
in my
Michaels versus
mind,
The Undertaker.
in my mind, it was the main event. Fuck off.
That's what you believe, and
that's why I
I'm not
fucked
gonna argue
up.
with you. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker in his first loss versus The Undertaker. They say, I don't know who they are, but they consider this to be the greatest WrestleMania match ever. Shawn filled in the streak. Both men were able to rewind time for just 1 minute until next year, and they did it all over again. And some people think this is the greatest match. People disagree. Like there's some heated argument between which match is better. But Shawn went on his back to put forward another classic and maybe his best match ever there. I personally, and I'm just,
You can have a bunch of different like philosophies, but I'm gonna say
why do it twice? Why do it twice? That's all
I don't
get
disagree with them doing it twice. I think their second match was better, and I think it's Shawn's best WrestleMania match, and it's my favorite WrestleMania match ever. It's Shawn and Undertaker too.
Was the second one?
Second
where
one?
he's
Second one.
just-
Wow.
where- Second one where he's grabbing at him and like looking at him and Taker
Yes.
plowed him.
And then
down.
Undertaker
Yeah.
picked him up, and he couldn't pin him with a regular tombstone, and then he picked him up for the final time and did a jumping tombstone and finally pinned him. And I was like, okay, like that was. I remember seeing that live, going, holy shit, like that was.
Is that when Shawn slapped him? It was
Yes.
like, and he did the cutthroat, and
Yeah.
then he slapped him.
He slapped him because he was basically like, just finish me off. I'm here for you. And then Taker's like, I'm going to do a jumping one. And he's like, you do it. And he's like, I'm gonna. And he's like, all right. And then he picked him up and did a jumping tombstone. Their first match was fucking awesome. And it was, I think I wrote a note in there too,
spot.
Dave. Like they rewound the clock back, like for that. Like their Hell in the Cell match was fucking awesome in '97, and their casket match at Royal Rumble '98 was also great. They never had a bad match like Taker and Michaels. And of all people, when you look at that, like you say their names, you're like, oh, it's not going to work. It worked every time. And their first WrestleMania match was fucking fantastic. And if somebody says that's their favorite, I'm not going to argue. But my personal favorite was their second match. Their second match was so good because the psychology was playing off the first year.
He's going out. He's going
That look of disbelief on the face of The Undertaker has turned into a look of rage.
Tombstone. Here's the cover. The Undertaker is is over.
But I love I love their first match, but their second match to me, I'm like, this is. I remember watching it live, going like, I don't know, like, I don't know what else you do. Like, you know, I'm not saying I haven't seen great WrestleMania matches since then. Like Cody and Roman was fucking awesome. At WrestleMania
Is that the
40.
one when Undertaker before the jumping tombstone said, "I'm sorry, I love you"?
Yes, like they did it every year. Like, and then before Brock beat him at WrestleMania 30, he's like, "I'm sorry, I love you," and he
I love
him.
you.
Like, yeah,
It's terrible.
When the Orient Express was about to beat him, they were like, "Sorry, I love you."
Every WrestleMania, they're all every loss.
That's funny.
Before he beat Brett,
so-
he's like, "I'm sorry, I love you," and he kicks Brett in the face at WrestleMania 12.
So just breaking down the stats, he had 17 matches. He was 6-11 in those, 5 main events. He only wrestled one person twice. That was The Undertaker. He never had a winning record. He started out losing. He was, 0-2, 0-3 before he finally kicked one
The
down.
closest he came to a
Fucking
winning
Marty.
record was 2-2. He was 500, and then he never had a winning
Never
record.
recovered.
Yeah. So
13,
yeah.
yeah.
But Shawn Michaels, you know, he missed WrestleMania. Like, it's kind of hard to argue. I hate him, and I really do. But I mean, he's doing like really like, you know, once he got sober and everything like that, and he had the second half of his career, like he really put out some bangers, and now he fucking basically books NXT, and like he's doing awesome and well, and just ask Cuz.
Yeah.
And like, so he's like, he's doing great. Like, really, like, I did not like his politics the first half. It's bullshit, you know. But at the same time, like, they were around in an era where you're fighting for your spot, and the WCW was kicking the shit out of them from like 96, 97, 98, and Michaels was the guy. So it's like he's personally attacked. He's like, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, and then he was a drug addict. Like, he was hooked on pills for a long time, and he's admitted plenty of times, like, I was not a nice person, and, you know, I was just really like, so it's like, you get in this political environment where you're in this pressure cooker, and Vince McMahon's a huge asshole and shits on you, literally and figuratively. And like, if you can't get out of the way of that big monster, like, you lose and you just get kicked out of the federation, or you don't get pushed anymore. And Michaels is like this, he's not a hulking guy. He's a small guy and wrestles and is technically great and all that. And he came in this era after Hogan. You know, it's like, there's a lot of like sympathy I have for him and Brett, like, you know, in that time, because like it was thankless. Like, and they were basically just keeping the seats warm for here comes Austin. And it was just, it's sad for them. Like, because like Brett and Shawn legitly, despite what I think about his politics, Shawn, in the first half of his career, they were legitly like the best wrestlers. Like, they were the best of that time. Like, in American wrestling,
best technique, probably best
you know,
storyline, best idea men out there. Like, they were
like the best finishes, the best, like, just, you know, I want to work with Mick Foley, I want to work with so and so, I want to work with Austin.
Yeah,
like, you know, it's just so great, and you know, it's just, but they weren't
again.
Wrestling was in a boom
couldn't
period.
have come out of a show without those guys. Like, those guys.
Yeah,
allowed Taker to work.
A way better point. Like, that's an amazing point. It's like, Undertaker owes.
You wouldn't have Biker Taker. You wouldn't have any of that stuff.
Undertaker owes Shawn and Brett, like, for pulling him out, and like Vince finally going like, you couldn't work.
You couldn't even have ruthless aggression, because all those guys were fairly small. Like, without Brett and Shawn saying that it could be done.
Yeah, arguably
those
like
guys wouldn't
Benoit
have
Chris Smith and Eddie Guerrero and all them, and even Rey Mysterio, they don't get over like without Brett and Shawn.
No. You know, like you said, totally thankless.
Oh my god!
They took it over at the end of the steroid era where everybody lost their taste for it, and they got blamed for it.
I hate Shawn. Please, God, in this episode, I hate him so much.
Nobody blamed.
Why'd you write this topic, Dave? Why'd you make me do this?
Like, for what, 30, 40 years, and it was just all Linda. Hogan not putting anybody over. It was Linda. Go to the unscripted archives for that.
But yeah, I like this. I like the legacy of a person at WrestleMania, and I'm going to do some more. And fuck you, Shawn. Dick.
Yeah. Well, look at it this way. You got it out of the way. Good job. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, or check out videos on YouTube, or you can just look to the left, as Jess says, to the left.
Look at
the left.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
You know, but you can give us a follow on Instagram too at O.W.P 2019.
Use your
or on
fucking eyes.
Facebook
I'm sorry.
if,
I'm upset. I'm upset. From
you know.
Fuck you,
All right,
Sean.
for the O.W.P, this is Joe, Jess, Dave, and Craig signing off. Have a good one.
Fuck you, Sean.